You're not a perfect human being. There are people that you've hurt, there are friends that you've hurt, there are situations that you've not handled in the best way possible, right? So the same way that you want other people to extend forgiveness towards you, you want people to extend compassion towards you, it's the same way you should extend the same thing towards your parents. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Daniela Agofure and I make self-help videos that are tied to faith because this is a faith-based channel. If that's something you're interested in, subscribe and let's get straight to this video. So yeah, if this is your first time here, you don't know, so I'm gonna tell you guys. We've been doing the trauma and emotional healing series in this month of May, which also happens to be my birth month. I don't know why I'm excited because I'm not usually someone that gets excited about my birthday, if you know me very well. But I think I am excited because I feel like God is going to give me a very beautiful gift. Yes, He will, because He's my Father and He gives good gifts. That's what the Bible says. So yeah, let's dive straight into this video. The topic for today is understanding and accepting your parents' flaws. So this video is for all the people that grew up in a home where they felt like they were emotionally neglected, or maybe they were emotionally neglected. Maybe you have a distance relationship with your parents, right? Maybe you felt misunderstood by your parents, right? Yeah, so this is just going to help you make sense and hopefully, if possible, heal that relationship or get you to the first step towards healing that relationship. So what I want to say is it's important because we're talking about understanding and accepting your parents' flaws, right? So first things first, it's important to understand that your parents are human beings and they have flaws just like everybody else, just like you. I know that we grow up and we expect our parents to be superheroes, right? We expect our dads and our moms to be superheroes. And sadly, they are not. They are not God. They are not perfect. They make mistakes. They fall short of their promises. They do things that hurt us in some way or the other, right? And it's not okay. I'm not saying it's okay. It doesn't make it okay. But if you continue to dwell on the pain, if you continue to dwell on the negative, it's not going to help you either. So this video is really for you. It's not for your folks, it's for you. It's to help you heal your pain, your trauma, and help you become the best version of yourself, right? So another thing, accepting them is a key part of growing up and building healthy relationships. So if you want to build a relationship with your parents, with anybody really, let me use the relationship of a spouse. I mean, I'm not married, but I've heard a lot of married people, especially my pastor, who was talking about the day that you stop to fight with your wife so much, let's say about something in particular, is the day that she finally accepts something about you, or you finally accept something about her. So let's say your husband is not the tidiest person, or your wife is not the tidiest person, and you're always constantly complaining, right? It's going to make you guys constantly fight. It's going to make you guys have a rift constantly, right? But the day that you accept that, you know what, my husband is not the tidiest person, my wife is not the tidiest person, so let me just help her, that's just how she is. It's nothing personal. It's nothing that she does or he does intentionally, right? It's just how they are, sadly. You start to rewire your mind that, okay, you know what, let me pick up after them, let me do this to help, let me do this, like, you understand? And you realize that the moment you're able to do this, you fight less about that particular thing. It's the same thing about your parents. The moment you accept them that, okay, this is how they are, you start to know how to navigate with them. So let me use my parents for you. The day I understood that, you know what, my father is just old school. It's not from this generation. He doesn't do emotions, feelings, and all of that. He don't he just like, you know what, that is just how he is. I don't even think he ever heard sorry from his parents. I don't think his parents ever told him, oh, come and sit down on my lap, like, just like, that affectionate love, like, it made me understand him better. And like, that's just how he is. Like, it's okay, and it's okay, right? And my mom, oh, God bless her heart. So this is something that me and my siblings always say. If you want everybody to know something, tell mommy. If you don't want everybody to know something, don't tell her. That's just how my mom is. My mom is, if you tell her something, don't cry. That's my mom for you. Because before we get upset, how can I tell you something and you go and tell this person? I don't understand. Make it make sense. But the day me and myself were just talking one day, and my sister said it, I was like, you are right. And since that day, whenever I don't want something to pass me and my mom, I don't tell her. I just don't tell her. That's just it. So when you understand your parents and you accept them for who they are, then you can start to heal and start to know how to navigate your relationship with them. So yeah, number one, I have about 6. I have 6 points written down here. So for those of you taking notes, number one is understand that your parents are human beings. They have their own experiences, limitations, struggles, just like everybody else, which is what I already talked about, right? Understand they're human. Even if you're honest with yourself and just examine your own life and just the kind of person that you are, you realize that you're not a perfect human being. There are people that you've hurt, there are friends that you've hurt, there are situations that you've not handled in the best way possible, right? So the same way that you want other people to extend forgiveness towards you, you want people to extend compassion towards you, it's the same way you should extend the same thing towards your parents. Forgive them for things that they've done in the past, right? Things that they've not handled in the best way possible, things that they've not apologized to you for. The honest truth is, that generation, they don't apologize. The way they apologize sometimes is not the conventional ways, but maybe buying you something or say it's okay. Maybe when you were a child, they beat you, and after beating you, they're like, it's okay. Do you want to eat rice? Is rice really the problem? Is ice cream? I will still take the rice and the ice cream, but is that really the problem? So just accepting them for who they are, and it just helps, right? Understand that they're human beings, they have their own limitations, they're not perfect, right? Focus on their good qualities. This is number 2. Focus on their good qualities. Remember the positive aspects of your parents and the love they have for you. So growing up, I can't imagine that. I can't speak for everybody because some people really have traumatic past. But let's say 80 out of 100. I'm sure your parents are not all bad. You had some good moments with them. They had moments where, you felt loved by them. You felt like they cared for you. Even if, it's not a lot, but I'm sure you can pick out 1 or 2, right? Try to focus on the good qualities that they have rather than the bad. Because when you focus on something, it just magnifies. If you focus on the bad, it magnifies. That's all you see. Have you ever had like a fight with a friend, and every time you see that person, that's all you think? Like, you just forget that one time you guys were actually friends. You forget that there was a time where you were actually cool. You just focus on that particular incident, and that incident makes them a villain whenever their name comes, or whenever you think about them, whenever you see them, right? That's because you focus on something little, then it just magnified over time. So yeah, focus on the good experiences, focus on the good. And if you're someone who maybe your parents were all bad, sadly, I would advise you to get closer to God. I know that when the time when the relationship between me and my dad was just like non-existent, right? It still is, but God made me realize that he's not just my savior, he's also my father. My relationship with God is very daughter-father like. You see me talking about my birthday because I truly do believe I'm going to get something. I got something last year, so I'm going to get something this year, right? So focus on your relationship with God. I would say that God knows what you need. If what you need is a parent, if what you need is a father, trust me, he will be that for you. If what you need is someone because I know the other day when I was in church, right, and like, again, my pastor wasn't talking about this, but that was the word I needed right then and there. I think he did actually, yeah, but my mind wasn't in church. It wasn't, I was there physically, but my mind was just like somewhere else. And as he said that, my mind came back to church. And this is when me and my dad are just like separated. He said that do not feel like your life is over because somebody took their hands off you. And as my pastor said that, my body, my soul, my spirit just came back into church. And from that day, I just knew that I wasn't alone. There was nothing anybody could tell me. I just knew that I wasn't alone. I knew that there is a God somewhere. He sees me, he hears me. As Hagar said, that the God that sees me, right? She had an experience, she had an encounter with God in that way. People in the Bible encountered God in different ways, and the manner in which they encountered God is the name they gave God. Hagar says that the God that sees me, right? The way God encountered Hagar is not the way he encountered Hannah. So whatever way you need God to show up in your life, that's how he's going to show up. If you need a father, he's going to show up as that, right? He's going to let you know that you're loved, you're understood, you're cared for. He's never going to leave you nor forsake you. That is the scripture that God gave me. Like, okay, yeah, you and your dad might not be in the best terms, but me, I'm here, I ain't going nowhere. So what you gonna do about it? So yeah, he will never leave you nor forsake you. That I hope that word helps somebody. So yeah, focus on their good qualities. Number 3, recognize that their flaws don't define them, right? Sometimes we just focus on people's flaws and we just make them a villain in our mind. We just see them as someone who is a certain way. No, this person is just rigid. This person is just, you understand? Yeah, you need to understand that this person's flaws, their limitations do not define them. The fact that someone is bad, maybe you have like a disagreement with a friend. You might think this person is a bad person, but there's someone out there who thinks they are so sweet. There's someone out there who thinks they're kind. Why is that? That is because that is your experience of them. I mean, if 10 people say all bad things about you, then okay, there's a problem. But if 2 people say something bad about you, but other people speak well of you, then okay, it's just your experience. It's just the experience that they have of you, right? Why am I saying this? Sometimes we focus on the flaws of our parents, right? And we don't realize that they are not all bad. They're not all bad. Okay, maybe they beat you one time, or they didn't provide for you at a certain time, or whatever it is. Maybe you felt emotionally neglected, but maybe they provided for you in terms of like academics. They sent you to good schools, they paid your fees, right? But you're so focused on the fact that they were not there for you emotionally, which is still important. I'm not invalidating your feelings and your emotions, right? But you could just think about it from the perspective that, okay, maybe this is just not their strong suit. This is not what they're good at because they did not receive this growing up. And what you don't have, you cannot give. So if your parents didn't grow up in a home filled with love, they didn't grow up with their own parents, treating them in a certain way, with love, affection, it will be very, very challenging for them to be able to give that, except they do the inner work. That is why we have to do the inner work, so we don't end up traumatizing the next generation or our children, the people after us, right? So yeah, recognize their flaws don't define them. Their mistakes don't diminish their value as your parents, right? Even the Bible talks about honoring your parents so that your days shall be long. This is not like, this is a like, you need to literally honor your parents so that it doesn't block your blessings from God, right? Yeah, because that is something that the Lord walked me through, right? No matter how you feel, no matter what you've experienced, you should still honor your parents. It doesn't say you must like them. The Bible doesn't say you must like your parents, but you do have to honor them. And the way you honor them differs. Nobody says, oh, you have to honor them and be all chummy, maybe sit down and be in the same space as they are all the time, because the truth of the matter is that you might have done the inner work, but doesn't mean you've done the inner work. And sometimes when you've done the inner work in yourself and you surround yourself with people who have not equally done that work, they have a way of bringing you back to the thing that you've healed from, and you just feel like, why am I back here, right? So you can honor, like I would always say this, you can honor people, your parents, but still have boundaries. You can still keep a distance even while doing that. Yeah, so yeah, actually let me say this, because you could have done so much work in yourself as a person. Maybe you weren't the brightest in school, but you've graduated and you're doing exceptionally well for yourself. It might not be in the field that they wanted, but you are sure doing well. You are doing well for yourself. You're making good money. You've built a life for yourself, a respectable and honorable life for yourself. But they keep talking down on you. You that you are not a serious person. You were able to do this. Like, it's a way somebody talks down on you, and you're just like, what exactly do I need to do for me to be enough? People like that, what do? You love them from a distance. It could be your family member, it could be your parent, it could be anybody. You love them from a distance. You pray for them. Yeah, you pray for them from a distance. So yeah. Number 4, practice empathy. I don't know why I'm laughing. This is not a funny topic, but okay. Practice empathy, right? Try to understand their perspective and the reasons behind their actions, even if you don't agree with them, right? Empathy is when you really put yourself in the other person's shoes. You try to understand where they're coming from, even though you don't agree with it, you don't accept it, you might not have liked what they did, but you try to put yourself in their shoes. You try to understand them, right? Because when you understand that some people that hurt you, they equally experience a tremendous amount of pain, it makes you look at it from a different perspective. Oh wow, okay. Your anger, your outburst was just a trigger response. It was just something that was coming from a place of pain. It's not even about me, it's about you, right? When you truly understand, I know recently I had an encounter with someone, and I was pained. I'm not gonna lie, I was so pained. After some time, the Lord walked me through it, and it reminded me of a conversation that she told me a while back of how she's divorced, right? And she talked about how her husband just left her, and she was stranded and all of this, right? And when I remember that experience and I related it to what had happened, it made me understand that, oh wow, okay, I can see where she felt triggered. I can see where her pain was coming from, and her way of expressing pain and hurt is by masking it in anger. A lot of people that are angry, it's really pain they feel, but they don't know how to be vulnerable. They don't know how to share that, okay, this hurt me, this makes me feel this certain type of way. So the way they manifest it is by being angry, by just being in rage, right? They show to them, this makes them feel strong. They are masking their pain, right? So practice empathy. Try to understand the other person's perspective, where they're coming from. If your parents have not always been loving and caring and affectionate, maybe they didn't receive this growing up, right? There's a Latin maxim in law. It says that nemo that quod non habet. It literally means that you cannot give what you do not have. If you don't have love inside of you, you can't give love. If you don't have vulnerability inside, you can't give vulnerability. If you don't have compassion inside of you, you can't give compassion. What you do not have, you cannot give. Right? The people who have gone through trauma, pain, and they find themselves in a relationship with a man that truly loves them and cares for them, but they cannot. They don't know how to handle it, because all they've known all their life is pain, hurts. So their responses, even when you're even loving them, they look at you like you're weird. What's going on? They don't know how to receive the love. So yeah, just practice empathy. Try to understand where the other person is coming from. Number 5, set healthy boundaries. I've talked about this already. You can love people from a distance. You can love your family, your father, your mother, your siblings, your cousin, your aunties. You can love them from a distance. Yeah, it's okay. Because while you're doing the inner work, you're watching these YouTube videos, you're subscribing, you're liking, you're commenting, you're going to therapy, you're going to the gym. Somebody somewhere is not doing the work that you're doing, and they're going to bring you back to ground zero, to square one. So yeah, love them from a distance. It's okay. I love you. God bless you. But I'm gonna keep my boundaries. I'm gonna, yeah, 2 feet apart. It's okay. Yeah, like know how to do like restraining orders. Yeah, keep the distance 10 feet apart. Number 6, focus on your own growth. Accepting your parents' flaws can help you accept your own, leading to greater self-compassion and understanding. It's important for you to focus on your growth as an individual because your parents have lived their lives. This is your life. You don't want to be 40 and still carrying your parents' baggage. You have your own life to live. You have your own kids that are looking up to you. You're setting the pace for them. You have your own goals, your own ambitions, your own dreams. But if you're so focused on your past, you do not have a clear direction of where you're headed. When you're focused on the past, on the things that weigh you down, then you don't have a clear direction of where you're headed. You need to know where you're headed for you to go somewhere. If someone, yeah, that's really just it. If you don't know where you're headed, then you don't know where you're going. You need to know where you're going. And for you to know where you're going, you have to focus on yourself, your own growth, your own well-being, right? I mean, it's okay to understand your parents from a deeper level, because when you do, it makes you have compassion for them. Even when it shows up in your own life. I know that as I grow up, I see a lot of my father in me. Recently I realized that when I get upset, I get really intense. And when I say intense, I'm not no, we're not breaking any deals over here. I isolate. I get very quiet. I get very intense. So if you see me and you're the one that upset me, you know that, okay, so you did something wrong genuinely. You're just looking at this girl and she's just keeping to herself. She's just like straight face. I'm just to myself. I can even pass by you and, oh, good morning, but that's it. Like, I'll literally look at you like I don't know you. Yeah, like we could have been best of friends yesterday, but I will look at you today like I do not know you from Adam. And I realized that this is not a good trait. And the more I started to think about it, I realized that it's something I got from my dad. But the difference is that he's a man and he actually expresses on through rage. But it's the same thing, but it just manifests in different ways. It's intense. So, and when you're that way, it's hard for people to approach you, right? It's hard for people to know that you still love them. Even if you do, you do. Deep down, like, it's really not that deep, but you're so intense, so they don't know that you still love them. They don't know that you still care. Because on the surface, all they see is intense. They see pain, anger, they see rage. They don't understand that, okay, this is just how this person reacts when they feel this way. It's a coping mechanism. So it's a coping mechanism for me because it's helped me shield myself from further pain. Like, oh, you hurt me, so I just shield myself. I safeguard my heart. I safeguard myself from further pain, from further hurt. So I isolate. I become very intense and I keep to myself. It's a coping mechanism, right? For my dad, it's like, okay, it's anger, it's rage, so it's a coping mechanism for him. I can't imagine my father, a grown-ass man at his age, talking about feelings and emotions. Even talking about it now, it sounds and it will look very weird. Maybe because I grew up seeing him very angry, so just imagine my father talking about feelings, just sounds weird as hell. So yeah, you just have to, when you understand people from a deeper level, it makes you have compassion for them and understand them better, right? Yeah. But yeah, focus on your own growth, focus on yourself, understanding the things that trigger you, understanding why you do certain things, right? Then it can help you navigate better. So now that I know that, okay, when I'm angry, I communicate. That's what I learned. When you're angry, Daniela, don't just isolate, don't just become intense. Communicate to the person, allow yourself to be vulnerable and say, you know what, this thing you did, guy, balance. So like, this thing you did actually hurt me. Like, it wasn't cool. Like, it actually hurt my feelings. Like, communicate, allow your feelings to show. Stop this hard guy that you're doing, right? Yeah. So that is it for this video. If you feel like this video has blessed you, subscribe, like, share the video, and I want to see your comments, you guys. Yeah, you never know who it will help, really. Yeah, that is it for today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.